It's no surprise that WWE has a substance problem, especially as the locker room mainly consists of a lot of jacked up guys. Their whole drug problem was a lot worse before Chris Benoit's death. Nowadays, you still have the occasional wrestler who suspends the wellness policy, but in general, the WWE have introduced a lot stricter rules and regulations when it comes to drug abuse. But if you didn't already know, back in the 80s and 90s, wrestlers frequently used steroids and other performance-enhancing drugs. Chris Benoit is a prime example of how drug abuse in the WWE was out of control, as it led to the unfortunate murder of his family as well as himself. We may have been a bit harsh with our wording of Chris Benoit in our 5 images Vince McMahon does not want you to see video, which we do apologise if you got offended, but the fact of the matter still remains. Regardless of whether his brain resembled an 85-year-old Alzheimer's patient, he still did murder his family. What happens when a group of individuals yield so much power in the locker room? They become untouchable and unaccountable. And that's exactly what happened in the 90s with the creation of the group called The Clique. The Clique was a backstage group created in the mid-1990s, composed of Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, and Sean Waltman. The group wielded an immense amount of power within the company at the time, which they used to positively influence one another's careers. This amount of power came at a cost, however, as Shawn Michaels, who was dubbed the golden boy of the 90s, was a known drug user and abuser in the ring and backstage, and Vince McMahon turned a blind eye to it on many occasions. Other erratic behaviour includes Shawn Michaels and Randy Orton being accused of leaving excrement in female wrestlers' luggage bags, and Kevin Nash bullying lower card guys. He was also rumoured to have beaten up guys who were planned to go over him at live events. In 2008, the WWE reportedly had an unknown sexual predator in their midst. It was creative team head writer David Lagana. With years of experience in the company, Lagana was at the top in terms of the power he had, and it was a real shame that he chose to abuse it. In a behind-the-scenes scandal, Lagana was rumoured to be persistently offering sexual endeavours to wrestlers across the company, both females and males. His final curtain call came when it was rumoured that he tried to approach The Undertaker in a sexual manner. This led him to be fired for this appalling ordeal. The company covered up his release by claiming that he had leaked confidential information to online dirt sheet, which was the only way to protect the brand from a PR perspective. As we know with the WWE, when you are given a gimmick, there is no turning back, like we found out with Stardust. The WWE have a tendency to force wrestlers into gimmicks regardless of whether the wrestler is happy to do it or not. A good example is Owen Hart back in 1998. Owen Hart was given a gimmick that was based on sexual immorality. However, due to his Christian background and being happily married, he refused to carry out the gimmick he was given. As a result, the WWE reportedly embarrassed him by forcing him to perform in the humiliating Blue Blazer character. One of the biggest WWE superstars in history to step foot in a WWE ring is Stone Cold Steve Austin. But did you know that his character was actually based upon a criminally convicted serial killer? When Austin was watching a crime documentary, he took particular interest in a serial killer by the name of Richard Kuklinski, who was known by the nickname the Iceman, as he would often keep his victims locked up in a freezer after killing them. Austin was so inspired by what he saw that he wanted to completely adopt the ice-cold and remorseless nature of the serial killer into his own WWE gimmick. In the following days, Austin made a request to creative to help him think up character names to do with freezing cold temperatures, and then the infamous nickname arose, Stone Cold, which became one of the biggest names in WWE history, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy the video, then please be sure to hit that like button and maybe even share the video too. Also, let us know your thoughts in the comment section below, as well as what you'd like to see next. And why not subscribe to the channel if you haven't already? Lastly, to those of you who are in the notification squad, we salute you.